Hey everyone, I have two notebooks here and I want to do a little bit of a comparison. These are both Midori MD notebooks. They are both in the A5 size. And the reason I have both of these is because they are so incredibly thick, as you can see. So I wanted a notebook of this size and thickness for a specific project for 2021. And I will do a separate video about that, so I'm not going to get into it here. I just mainly want to talk about how these notebooks are laid out. So most of us are familiar with this one. This has been around for a little while. It's the Midori MD One Day, One Page Diary. And this is also available in the A6 size. This is fairly new. As far as I know, it was released this year, like April of 2020. This is the Midori Codex Notebook, but it is also a one day, one page. But I believe this one's called a diary, but this is called a journal. So the first thing here are the covers. The diary has this really beautifully finished faux leather type of cover. I think it's just the PVC plastic kind of thing, and it has the year debossed on the spine, and the spine is just gorgeous on this. And then it has the MD paper logo debossed on the front there, and that's it. Very, very simple and sleek and classic. I tend to just really gravitate towards this brand because I love their very simple aesthetic. For the Codex notebook, it has your typical paper cover. Let me see. So this is a normal A5 notebook in the standard thickness. You can get it anywhere, even off Amazon. And the covers here are exactly the same. The same thickness with the same logo debossed right there. For this, it has an exposed spine, which no other notebook from Midori that I know of does this. And I absolutely love it. I tend to tear away the spines of the journals that I'm using to expose the spine like this so that it has room to expand as I end up bulking it up. So the back is the same as the front with the thick cardstock cover. And what's really cool is that it has this perforated corner, and it goes from the front cover all the way through to the back. And the idea is as you use a page, you tear off the corner and it acts like a marker so that you can find the page you're currently on. And when it's full, then you're just missing a corner. I thought it was a little odd at first when I saw it, but I love Midori so much that I ended up being really drawn to that cute little feature. So because this is the way that you're going to mark your page, technically, there is no bookmark in the Codex, but you have a double bookmark in the diary. And the colors are still the same. You get a bright red one and a bright orange one, which I always thought looks so beautiful with this cream colored notebook. I did use this notebook in 2019. I actually used it in the A6 size, and I used it for, well, basically hand lettering practice and sort of self-care. I used the whole thing and I really, really loved it, but I didn't get one for 2020 because I couldn't justify a good enough reason to get one for this year. So I was always on the lookout for a potential reason to get it again, which is why I have it for 2021. As you can see, these bookmarks got all inked up and I used this to death, and I'm so glad that I have another one and in such a big size. I'm always wanting to get even like the Hobonichi 5-year. I have it in A6, but I've always wanted to get one of these super large books like the 5-year and this diary in the A5 size just to feel the heft of it. These are very weighty notebooks, so they're not very travel friendly, but I don't plan to do that with this. So yeah, so you get the bookmarks here, but not in the Codex. And as far as the layout goes, the diary is technically a planner. And I'll do a very quick flip through in case you're not familiar, but you get the end page here. And it says story of 2021, and it goes into a year overview, and you get 2021 and 22. That goes right into the monthly spreads, and it starts December of 2020 and goes to January of 22. After this are the start of the daily pages. So the rest of this book, the bulk of this book pretty much, are these daily pages. So you get a bracket up top where you could put your date, you get a few bullet points, and then you get this aligned column, and there are numbers here to mark the hours. The rest of this space is blank. And what I was looking for was an A5 notebook that was really thick, that had enough pages to last a whole year, that was undated, which is why I was attracted to both of these. So all of the daily pages are like this, and then you get to your last daily page right here, and then your end paper, and that's it. You get a cute little place to put your signature, and then to be continued for 22, and that's it. For the Codex, it is just a journal. That's it. So it's a blank notebook. I ended up getting this in the dot grid. If you can see it there. Yep, there it is. So it's a dot grid. It's in this light minty color. This is only available in dot grid and blank, and that's all. So since the dot grid is in this mint color, you can see some of the mint color in this exposed spine. If you get the blank version of this, it's all going to be cream. You're not going to get the mint color right there. And that's it. So this has 368 pages, and they are all the dot grid notebook. So the Codex is laid out exactly like the normal notebook that you can get anywhere. So that's it. And I guess this has a bit more freedom of use compared to the diary because there is a little bit of a layout here, and then you get some monthly pages at the front. So the other thing are the clear covers. Everybody, including myself, always is concerned about having a clear cover to protect these types of notebooks. This one is very durable. You know, if you spill something on it, it's just gonna wipe off, but I'm sure this is still prone to staining, like if you get pen ink on it. This, because it's a very absorbent paper, it's not sealed at all. Mostly people are concerned about getting the clear cover for this. Since it is so thick, it does not fit in any of the normal clear covers that you can get from Midori. So when this was released, it was also released with a clear cover that you pay for separately, and it's made extra large to be able to fit this. And it's exactly like your normal clear cover that they make. It has the little plastic pen loop here, and that's pretty much it. So as far as price goes, because this is not currently available in any US shops yet, the price of these is pretty comparable when you are considering shipping. So I got this from Yoseka Stationery, and they're both about 50 bucks, depending on where you get it. This is currently available as of the filming of this video at Stickerrific, which I will have everything linked below. But Stickerrific is in Malaysia, so shipping is like $20 extra. This notebook usually runs about $29 or $30. This one runs like $50. But I was able to get free shipping because it was US based, but then I had to pay 20 bucks to ship this, you know, so it kind of evens out. So what happened was when I wanted to buy this, it was not available anywhere, not even at Stickerrific. So what I ended up doing was asking the shop owner at Danica58 on Etsy, and she is based in Japan. And I asked her if she could source one of these for me, you know, and so she got one, I paid for it, and she shipped it to me. And it was still like $50 with shipping and all of that in total. So they're comparable in cost at this point. So, you know, it's a matter of what do you want to use it for? Do you need a little bit of a layout? Do you need a monthly section? Or do you just want a completely blank canvas to work with? Like I said, I'll do another video about what I'm going to use these for. I initially got them because I was trying to decide on which one to use for a smash book. And I think I'm going with this one. But then I was thinking about the covers, like the leather covers that they would fit in. And that kind of was a deciding factor as well as to what I wanted to use these for. So most of you have seen this cover. I was using this for my Hobonichi Cousin Avec that I was using for memory keeping. That didn't end up panning out because it wasn't flexible enough to deal with my life changes. And it was because of the dated pages, which is why I ended up with these two undated notebooks to potentially use. And then it's not going to be that I'm not going to be recording in the same way that I did in the Hobonichi, which is why this is kind of evolved into a smash book kind of deal. So for this cover that I made for my Hobonichi, I made it very oversized. And I was like, I really think these notebooks are going to fit. And this one fits the best. And I made it pretty tall so it could deal with any type of clear covers. But I absolutely adore the way that this fits in here. It's just, look at that. It's so delicious. Oh my goodness. I don't plan on bulking this one up. I think it's just going to be mostly for prayers and Bible journaling and things like that. So I have this sort of set up in here, and I think this is what I'm going to go with. When I tried the diary, it does fit, but it is super tight as far as the width goes. This, because of the oversized cover, I think this is actually a bit thicker overall than this. And it has more pages because it has also those monthly pages. So I actually have to take out all of this stuff that's in this pocket in order for this to just barely fit in here. But then I do have a HandStitchedLeatherT that I'll show you. So this barely wants to snap. And as you can see, the covers are already bending at the corners because it's already at max capacity here. So I knew I didn't want to use it in here because I didn't want this to warp too much from the cover, like to bend and stuff like that. So I'm probably going to make a new cover for this to allow for expansion for what I'm going to use it for. It's probably going to be a really bad idea, but we're not going to get into that here. So what I want to do is pull out this HandStitchedLeatherT because I think this will be a good gauge for people to know what these books are going to fit in. This is a typical A5 cover from HandStitchedLeatherT. This one happens to be in the tobacco color, which hasn't been available for a little while. But her covers tend to be pretty big. They're pretty oversized. So let me put the Codex in here. Height-wise, it's a perfect fit, even with the clear cover, which I really, really love. And as you can see, it's going to fit perfectly, like absolutely perfectly in here. And that's kind of rare. It's not often we get our big, thick books to fit completely with the front and the back all the way in. So you can see there, it's an amazing fit. And I really, really love that. So the Codex is going to be a beautiful fit if you have a hand-stitched leather tee, which is a brand that tends to be oversized in most of their sizes. So this, I was like, oh my gosh, is it going to fit in here? Maybe I don't have to, you know, make a cover for it. So it fits height-wise again, which is awesome. And I was like, you know, it's not that much thicker than the Codex, so, you know, there's a really, really good chance that it's gonna fit. And it just barely, just barely fits. And I was okay with not putting the front cover in as long as I couldn't see any of the cover peeking out. And it's just right there on the edge. And I knew the way that I plan on using this right now is this is going to get some bulk to it. So this isn't gonna fly. So I'm gonna work on a little project for this one. And initially I was thinking, you know, I was gonna use one or the other. I wasn't actually planning on utilizing both of them. I didn't think that I could, but I hadn't yet set up something that felt permanent for my, you know, Bible and prayer journal. And then when I put this in here, it just kind of clicked. You know how sometimes that happens. And so I was like, oh my gosh, this is what this is going to be. So I get to utilize this, and then this is going to be the smash book. So anyway, check the links below. I will have those shops that, you know, currently have these items in case that's something you are looking for. Anyway, let me know if you have any other questions. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you again soon. Bye.